Salespeople, real estate agents. Hey, it's BC, joined with head of sales here at Team BC University, Mr. Alden Lawrence himself, the legend from North Carolina. And we wanted to come on today and talk to you guys about another objection. I'm not familiar with your company. I don't know your company, right? Now, have you ever heard this, Alden, or was this the first time for you?
I've heard it once or twice as the other objections. This one doesn't come up too often, but it's fun. It's fun when it does.
Yeah. When you heard it originally, did you think it was a serious question, or did you already kind of study and know that you would hear that eventually?
When I heard it originally, yeah, I was like, shit, I'm with Keller Williams. The other person's with Keller Williams. There's no way I can get the business. And then I realized that later on, it's like, wait, it's the agent that works for you, not Keller Williams. And so, which as we get into the objection handler, we can talk about that.
Yeah. So there's a couple ways, right? Like if it's a stone cold beginner here, I would keep it simple and then ask the next question. And that's one of the things is when you guys get asked a question like this, you need to answer it and then follow up with your next question. So you regain control of the conversation and you take it towards somewhere good, right? Where you can ask questions, they can give you their motivation or lack of interest, and then you guys can go your separate ways, right? So if I hear that, I would say, fair enough, Mr. Seller, not everybody's heard of Real or EXP or whoever you're with, right? We are a licensed and accredited brokerage in the state of North Carolina, California. Cool. So next question, right? That's it. Just give them confirmation. Or you can say, and I can send you some more information later about us if you want to know more. Boom. Ask the next question, right? All I'm doing is addressing that small little thing in their mind and then moving forward because you don't know. They could, just like Alden's case, say, well, if he's with that same company, Keller Williams, I'm not going to work with them because I already got screwed once. And that's why they're asking. You don't know why they're asking. I've been asked that door knocking. And I'm like, yeah, I work with Century 21. Oh, we have offices everywhere. We even have one here a couple blocks away. They don't know, right? But one of the best responses, if they don't know your company or they're asking first about your companies, you say, I'm with Team BC at Real Brokerage. Have you heard of us? Because if they say no, I'm almost like, really? You haven't heard of us? Like in an almost joking way to get them to back off and be like, wait, should I know them? But that one's a little bit more advanced. Is there any other like responses that you give, Alden, or is it pretty much just cut and dry?
Man, that's the one I say every time, and I never have any issues after I say it. Yeah, I'm with Real Brokerage. Have you heard of us? And they'll say, oh, no, I haven't heard of you. And then I'll say, yeah, we're actually one of the top up-and-coming technology companies similar to EXP and Keller Williams, if you've heard of them. And then I'm on to the next point. And if you say it that way, you really never have to worry about it. But here's this is how little the consumer understands. I was dealing with an expired listing that I'm about to list here soon. And the person that they expired with was from the same company that I'm with. And when I told them the company, I said, have you heard of us? She said, no. That's how little the consumer understands or pays attention to the and that's just to emphasize, that's how little of importance it actually holds in their mind. So when they ask it to you, there's no reason to be thrown off because it's not something they take very much weight to anyway.
Yeah. And the only thing I've really seen from certain sellers, like, when I was doing some of the luxury stuff back when I still lived in LA, some of them are like, oh, well, Compass or, Hilton and Highland or some of these big ticket companies, they have, or we see more often their signs. They might think, well, if we work with them, they'll probably have a higher likelihood of selling, which again comes from their ignorance of the process and they don't really know it doesn't matter. But that's where that might come from is they see or they hear or they have a friend with that company. So they think automatically they're more legit. Because if you didn't know, guys, back in the day, right, this is a Cliff Notes version. If I took my listing to an office back in the day, before computers, before all this fancy stuff, when the MLS was still printed in books. Yes, it was printed in books, especially for some of the newer generation, right? You guys won't know about that. Like if I gave my listing, let's say Alden has an office there in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I live there. If I took my listing and said, I want to hire you guys, only his office and his agents can sell the listing back in the day. If you didn't know that, I know you know that, Alden, because you've been around for a while, right? And a lot of people don't know that. And that's been passed down. So that's why there's this thought, I need the biggest company and most local one. Because obviously the buyer and everybody's going to go there. And if they have more agents, more likelihood to sell my home. That's where that logic comes from way back in the day. And it's carried over. But in the modern times, people don't know why they say that. They just make the assumption. That's pretty much it.
100%. And I even, to that point, your explanation right there, I actually use that a lot for the local agent objection.
Absolutely. Yeah. It can be very good. So that's a pretty simple one. Keep it short, keep it sweet. I wouldn't marinate on it. The point that I took, even from what you said, Alden, and this is kind of what confirms it in my head, is it's not really what we say. It's, do we capture control after we answer and move the conversation forward, basically, right?
Absolutely, man. And even one more just little dialogue they can throw at it is one of my go-to responses is, you are aware that it's the agent, not the company, that is the one that works for you and actually gets you the result, right? And usually if they respond to that, it's like, oh, yeah, that's a good point. I never really thought about it that way. Exactly. Boom, on to the next question.
There we go. Yeah, because that's the truth, right? You're working with them. You're their representative. They're talking to you. They're not, holding the whole company liable for you not selling the home or selling the home. It's up to you, right? Cool. Any resources you guys need, hit us up below. All our social medias below, the website and everything else. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.